Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on cooperatives director changes. My name is Lisbon Muniela, and I will be the facilitator for today's program. Elma Bingham from Corporate Education Unit will be our presenter for today. The presentation will be followed with the question and answer session. On the question and answer session, we have Aubrey Murifi, Gideon Mello, and Aaron Moyo from Cooperatives Unit. They will assist with answering the questions. So during the webinar, you are welcome to post questions related to today's topic under comments. We will respond to these questions after the presentation. If you have questions that are not related to the topic, please log in an inquiry on the CIPC website inquiry system or send a message on our CIPC Facebook Messenger. The recording of this webinar will remain on YouTube should you wish to view it again. On our agenda, Elma's presentation will start with initial directors. Secondly, there will be new appointments, resignations, and removals of directors. Lastly, she will deal with issues of membership. I now want to hand over to Elma Bingham for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm using this computer because I'm struggling here today with a slide I want to move on my side. And we're going to keep it in this format with the little slides on the side, because the moment we put it in slideshow, it also doesn't want to move. Everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. The order of the topics won't be exactly the same order as in which we posted our invite. However, we will cover all the topics. If we can then go to cooperative directors, references in this presentation refers to the Cooperatives Act as the Act, and it's of course the Act of number 14 of 2005 as amended. Sections 52 to 59 of the Act refers to the governance of cooperatives and bears specific reference to directors and changes of directors. You're welcome to study these sections. The Act is available on the CIPC website as well as all the regulations to the Act. Before one can talk about director changes and membership changes, one must keep in mind that a cooperative must at all times at its head office keep certain records. And these are the accounting records, which must include all the business transactions with members and non-members, the registered constitution and rules of a co-op and any amendments thereto, the minutes of a general meeting and directors' meetings. If a co-op has a supervisory meeting, the minutes of the supervisory committee meetings. There must be a list of members, a register of directors, and a register of directors and employees' interest in contracts or undertakings. Accounting records and financial statements must be kept for 5 years or a longer period determined by the minister. A cooperative or director who fails to comply with record-keeping requirements is guilty of an offence. It's important to distinguish between changes in membership and changes in directors. Membership can change when a member withdraws his or her membership due to resignation, expulsion, or death. And of course, your directors also have reasons why they can withdraw the directorship. But with members, also new members might be added to the cooperative. In cases where membership is withdrawn, there is no need to submit a Co-op 2 form unless the member was also a director. CIPC only keeps records of founder members. And the reason for that is to prove the original application to register the cooperative complied to the requirements of the Act with regard to minimum membership. If a new member joins the cooperative after the registration date, he or she is not a founder member, and CIPC does not need to be informed. It is the responsibility of a co-op to keep a list of members, or a register you can call it as well, which is updated as new members join the cooperative and existing members leave a co-op. The list of members, as we previously said, must be kept at the registered office of a cooperative and is proof of who are currently members of a cooperative, as well as of members that have withdrawn their membership from the cooperative. A little bit of background on cooperative directors. The board of directors is responsible for the management of a cooperative and is accountable to the members. The board is appointed at the annual general meeting by the members. Only members may be appointed as executive directors, and these directors have voting rights at the board meetings. In case of associate members, they may only be elected as non-executive directors and do not have voting rights at board meetings. In terms of Section 32(4) of the Act, if a vacancy arises, the board may, by way of resolution, appoint a director for the remainder of a period, provided that the appointment is approved by members at the next general meeting. Members may dissolve the board by special resolution if members find justifiably good reason that the board is not functional. The special resolution must be taken at a meeting convened by at least 25% of members, or if a supervisory committee exists, by the supervisory committee. The number of directors and the period for which they are elected is stipulated in the Constitution. In terms of Section 39 of the Act, a director is required to inform the cooperative in writing of any changes in his address or her address. In return, a cooperative must notify CIPC in writing of the full names, address, and ID number of each person appointed as a director within 30 days of such appointment. Furthermore, the co-op must inform CIPC of any changes of address of a director within 30 days of knowledge of a change. Also, after any director has vacated the office within 30 days of such vacation, and also of a reason for the appointment or removal of a director. A cooperative or director that contravenes any of these provisions is guilty of an offence. Next, we'll look at the step-by-step guide for director changes, the Co-op 2 form, and supporting documentation. If you go to our CIPC website, there's this blue-greenish line at the top, and one of the words there, second from last, is resources. You will click on that to find the guides and choose guides, and then you will choose on the list cooperatives, and on the right-hand side, click on the plus sign. The list of guides available, the first three are for registration of cooperatives, but the last one is a step-by-step guide for manual change of directors of cooperatives. So please, you're welcome to download it. It's free of charge. It will give you all the information you need. If we look at the form itself, the top part starts with a client reference, which is a place for the name of a co-op, the registration number, a person's name who gives the statement that is typed there, and then it further continues with a space for the signature of the person who's giving the statement and the date on which I gave the statement. Then the details of all the appointed directors, there's space for that. And then there's another section on directors that have vacated office, so all the details can be completed there. If we look at what you need to complete, first of all, as a client reference, you complete your customer code, the name and registration number of a co-op, the name of a director or secretary or manager or officer who signed the co-op 2 form, and the form must be dated. A letter of consent to the appointment of director must be submitted, and the director is required to state that he or she is not disqualified to be a director in terms of the Co-operatives Act 2005 as amended, or the constitution of a cooperative, and that the directors listed in the second table have not been reappointed or have vacated their office for other reasons. Furthermore, all active and new directors' details must appear on the Co-op 2 form. The following director details must appear: the full name, surname, ID number, date of appointment, home address, postal address, and demographic details, meaning things like the gender, male or female, youth, and whether the person is living with a disability. The number of directors must at all times be within the minimum and maximum number of directors as specified in the cooperative constitution. Clearly certified ID copies or passport copies of all new and resigning directors must be submitted. Information on the certification of the documents. Certification may not be older than 3 calendar months. The Commissioner of Oath that certify or affirm documents must state the date of certification. Only one ID or passport may appear on a single page that's submitted. Both sides of a SA ID card must be copied on the same page. It's only valid issued passports that will be accepted. Asylum seekers and temporary resident documents will not be accepted as valid confirmation of identity. If we look at SA certified documents, the following information of a Commissioner of Oath must appear on the documents: the person's full name and surname, business address, signature and date of certification, their designation. In case of a police officer, police certified documents must also indicate the police officer's rank and rank number. All of the above information is required to ensure the Commissioner of Oath is traceable for accountability purposes. Then, minutes of meeting. Minutes or resolutions taken at the meeting has to be clearly stating either change of name or surname, change of postal address or home address, appointment, resignation, removal, death, or end of term of a director. Minutes must be signed by the chairperson present at the meeting and be certified a true copy. In the case of a deceased director, a certificate of death must be submitted. If a death certificate cannot be acquired from the family, the cooperative is required to apply for a copy at the Department of Home Affairs. On the Co-op 2 form, the section regarding directors that have vacated office must be completed. Then we look at voluntary resignation of a director. In this instance, the director must provide a signed letter of resignation and a certified ID copy. The name and the registration number of a cooperative must appear on the letter. On the Co-op 2 form, the section regarding directors that vacated office must also be completed. Okay, in the case of change to the director's information, if a first name, surname, ID number, physical address or postal address of a director has changed, the minutes must be specific about the changes. The contact details, first name, surname, ID number, physical and postal address of the director on the Co-op 2 form must be the same as that on record with CIPC. The CIPC record will not be changed if the minutes are silent on the changes, even if a Co-op 2 form and the CIPC records differ. Then we get to the removal of a director. CIPC is no longer undertaking the verification process, hence the onus is on the co-op to prove that the correct process of removal was followed. Notice of a meeting has to be circulated as a record date 14 business days before the meeting. In the event of removal of director, the notice of meeting must reflect the following: the date of notice of meeting, the date of a meeting, time, place, and general purpose of a meeting. The reason or reasons for removal of a director has to be stated in the minutes and on the Co-op 2 form. Minutes of resolution taken has to be clearly stating that it is an expulsion or removal of director, as well as prove that the director was removed, was afforded a reasonable opportunity to make a presentation. On the Co-op 2 form, the section regarding directors that have vacated office must also be completed. The resolution must be passed with a majority of directors present at the meeting. Once one has completed all the forms and you have all the supporting documents, the Co-op 2 form and supporting documents must then be emailed to the address coop2@cipc.za. We have come to the end of our presentation. Thank you very much. I'm going to hand over to Lisbon again as our facilitator with a question and answer session. Thank you, Lisbon.
Thank you very much, Elma, for a very informative presentation. I see we have a lot of questions in your comments. So our colleagues will assist us in circulating the questions so that we may deal with them. Okay, the first question: hi, thank you. Will the presentation be emailed to us? The presentation, they are posted on the CIPC website. We will share information where you can find the presentation. So, but the presentations are available on the website. The next one: I registered a company a year ago, but I never operating. Do I owe SARS? Colleagues, as we said before, we'll appreciate the questions that are related to the presentations. So for SARS, you need to go to SARS to ask. So the next question: what's the new link we use to register a cooperatives? So, Mr. Mrifi, can you deal with the answer for that one?
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much for the question. If you would like to register a cooperative, once you go on the CIPC homepage, you can click on enterprise registration, or you can click at the top part where it says log in or register. Once you click there, then you can then select new e-services. And then once you select new e-services, then the system will automatically reroute you to a link where you can then be able to register a cooperative. But you must remember to register a cooperative if you need to create a profile if you don't have a profile. And on EU services, the username will then be your email address. And you can then also create a password as well. But if you have previously registered as a customer with, say, a PC, you can use the linked email address as your username and also your password to log in onto the new e-services. And the other thing to remember as well is that with cooperative registration on new e-services, we don't use the declining balance anymore. Declining balance, it's where you deposit funds into CIPC account. On new e-services, only work with card payment system. As and when you transact, then you can then be able to do the necessary payment for the fee to register the cooperative. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Murifi. Just to add on that one, Elma already indicated that colleagues, you can go to our under the resources. There is a step-by-step guide. It will guide you on how to register a cooperative. So the next question, I tried to make changes for a directorship. They never approved the changes, but they asked the same documents I have uploaded. Mr. Murifi. Okay, Kidivoni, can you please assist with um, the answer for cooperatives amendment?
Thank you, Lisbon. Mr. Malevati, thank you for the inquiry. Maybe if you can just give me the registration number so that I can be able to check for you, or alternatively, I can give you my email address. It's kidibone@cipc.co.za, and then I'll be able to check for you what might be the problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kidivoni. I see a lot of people that are asking for our presentations. Okay, colleagues who are looking for our presentations, please send us an email, because remember this one we did not ask you to register, so we don't have your emails. I see you're sharing them here, but send us the email to our corporate education. The email address is education@cipc.co.za. education@cipc.co.za. Indicate that you are requesting the presentation for today's webinar, so we'll be able to assist you. I see Mr. Mulivati or Mr. Luella, you are still leaving another follow-up. They told me form and resolution differs with information, and it is silent about the details of the resigning director. So as Ms. Milno already shared the email with you, you can directly send her an email, and then she will be able to assist you. Thank you.
It seems like that's the last of our questions. The rest do not relate to cooperatives.
Okay, colleagues, in absence of any further questions, we have come to the end of the webinar. We hope you found today's presentations interesting and that it will assist you. Thank you for joining our webinar. Have a lovely day. See you again. Bye-bye.